Heyo, so I've been using Blender a lot this year, learned a few things that helped me speed up my process drawing anime a lot, and thought I'd share to hopefully help anyone watching right now. I want to make it clear that this isn't for making 3D anime. That process I tried a bunch and the results were less than ideal. This is for people who still want to draw in 2D, but want to get past the tedious parts and straight to the fun part of drawing a character. For that party, this is for you. Also, apologies that I am speaking in an accent that is beyond her hearing. I realize I am a bit of a mumbler. First is what you're likely assuming right off the bat, a base model. I'll say right now that you don't need anything complex or even expensive. Just download one of Reallusion's free base models, sculpt the proportions to your liking, and get rid of the face. Trust me, you don't want it. At least not for the mouth. For proper 2D anime, mouths have a very nonsensical placement in different angles that's a bitch to recreate in 3D. Your best bet is to just draw it and sculpt lips on the grease pencil outline for side angles. Once your character is posed, use the line art modifier. Just select the base settings like the collection with the model in it, the layer for your line art, and the material for your grease pencil, which for lines is always solid stroke. Also, make sure you only have the amount of frames you want on the timeline, just so baking doesn't take forever. Trust me, you will forget at some point. From here, we just clean up the model a bit more. Remove straight edges, fix up wonky geometry like Oz's helmet here, just quick polish to the baseline art. You can also start sketching around in draw mode to get an idea for how this will interact with smaller details. Once that's done, including the sketch, we can get to the line art as usual. Make sure when doing segmented lines to start within each stroke with a bit of a curve. This will be important for coloring. Think of it like tangling two hairs in one another. Already, 2 to 3 hours saved. Now we just finished the hand-drawn lines. Now, as for color, this is where Blender saved my life. Rather than needing to maneuver selection over the silhouette, fill that silhouette, and then carefully paint around the lines and catching every little pixel, the vector art properties on grease pencil let you instantly paint with little to no gaps at all unless you have edge detection turned on. Now, Blender's paint tool is pretty fickle on what lines it chooses to detect since it looks for the wireframe instead of your pen's material. But that's why we tangled the lines together earlier, so the paint tool is blocked at every turn. It only registers where to paint and you can just click away. Just make sure to also border the outside of the canvas up. You can also use the paint tool's solid fill material on the brush to manually cover ground on the image, both in case you still get small gaps, or if you want to paint on a specific shape or color within a color. Again, versatility is the name of the game here. Then, for shading, we click the mask checkbox for the shade layer, and on the plus sign, select the fill layer as a target. We now use the brush with solid fill to draw our cell shading across the character. With one stroke, an entire quadrant of the body can be blocked from the light in less than a second. We just carry on. Finally, we just draw in the shine. You can use any tool you feel works for you. I'm really liking one of Sophie Jantak's custom brushes for a believable pore texture. That's really what this comes down to. The best anime art approximates realism rather than fully recreating or stylizing. Simply what can trick the eye in the moment. Yeah, even something as over the top with big eyes like this can fool some people. This is why I'm sticking to Blender. An effect that could take me 1 to several days can be done in an hour. And keep in mind, this is just for large canvases. A single panel can take even less time unless it's extremely busy. Hopefully, me walking you through how I made this pillow design can give an idea for how Blender can help you speed up the anime process, and even cover weaknesses that would otherwise stall you even more. So, if you like what you saw, please, do the usual, like, comment and sub or whatever, just so I know people actually want to see more of this. Otherwise, I also have an ongoing BL webtoon, Blood Spine, whose main character you actually saw me drawing here today. Give it a read if you like classic anime action, but want a big gayer twist to it all. If you love mecha, and if you're like me and you really miss shows like Saint Seiya and wish it would get a proper revival already. I also have a Patreon if you want to show more support in exchange for exclusive content and early Blood Spine episodes. But yeah, that's about a wrap. Um, See you next time and enjoy the show.